Oh, well, hello, everyone. It is Monday, September 22nd, here in Montreal, Canada. And I usually do my go lives here on Facebook and YouTube, but I decided to connect my phone as well and do TikTok and do it, you know, all at the same time to save on time. So if you see me looking in another directions, because I got two cameras going on, I am not trying to ignore you whatsoever. I had an amazing weekend this weekend. I was at a entrepreneur convention in Toronto, and it's always so amazing to be surrounded by like-minded people who are, pushing themselves to a better way of life, a better and not having somebody else control their outcome of their lives. And what I mean by that is like probably their work, right? Because I was there for business. So it's always really nice to see people come together and helping each other out and leveling each other up to see the success. There's gazillion peoples on the planet. Like there's so many people on the planet. There's no need to try to be selfish in any of it. When you serve others, it comes back to you. That's just the energy that you put out there, and that's amazing. Hello, Red Heron. So I think it's so important to remember that, right? To not be selfish, to put yourself out there to help. So one of the things that I loved about it too, what I kind of knew, but it's always nice to kind of hear it again and kind of, make yourself better, or it stays within you more when you hear it over and over again. There's certain things that you hear sometimes and you're like, okay, it goes right over your head. And then other times you hear it the second, third, fourth time, and it becomes like part of you, right? So one of the thing is taking responsibility for yourself. So many people will play the blame game, come up with excuses, and not take the time to take responsibility for their actions. And one example that was given over the weekend during this conference is we had to buy our ticket. Our ticket said one thing. We got an email. It explained what the event was all about. I even made the mistake of like scrolling through real quickly, showed up a day early when I didn't have access on the Friday. I only had access to the conference on Saturday. And that's what I purchased. I didn't get mad. I didn't get upset. God, it was like, oh my God, Mel, I can't believe you did that type of thing. Because I flew in from Montreal to Toronto. But I could have came up with excuses and gotten angry at whoever was creating that event. But no, I took responsibility, right? Responsibility. So responsibility is event plus response equals your outcome. And if I got mad, what would it have given me? It would have given me nothing. It wouldn't have served me in any way whatsoever. So that's why it's important. The only things that you have control over are your thoughts, the images that go into your thoughts, right? The images in your head with that thought, and the response. Your behavior with those thoughts. How will I behave? So there's one person who actually was really upset that it wasn't clear on her ticket, but we had received multiple emails and this group chat multiple times on the schedule of the event. And some people got upset. They didn't take responsibility and their behavior showed up in a negative way. And so this is like this for anything in life. It doesn't have to be just business. It's your personal life, your relationships with people, your significant other, your children, right? You have to take responsibilities for your action. So if you've been following my page, you may or may not know that I've been a flight attendant for 26 years. If you're in Canada, you know what's happened, what happened last month with some flight attendants, and it really got me, riled up, angry, upset, and I decided to take responsibility for my behavior, my actions, in the sense of switching my focus to something else. So I could sit here and make excuses and be annoyed, but I have no control over the government or the company. Doesn't say that I do not support my fellow colleagues. However, I want to put my focus on my business. And when you put your focus on what you're working on, and that it's positive, and that you're trying to make a better life for yourself and for the people around you, what happens is that energy comes back to you tenfold. And then things start to change because you're putting the focus on the right thing. It's called law of attraction, right? I could sit here and go, oh my God, my pay as a flight attendant is so horrible, which it is, by the way. I don't want to be poor anymore. As an example. Well, I'm going to attract that. That's all I'm going to attract, because I'm focusing on the negative part of what's happening. So what I decided to do, again, taking responsibility, is change my thought process to, I'm going to focus on my business. And my new phrase is, I am ready to be wealthy. Now my business is doing well, but I want to take it up to the next level, right? Another level up. And I just want to make sure. Yes. So I wanted to make sure there's something I don't want to forget talking about is shifting your thought process or the way you speak to I have to into I choose to. So I have to go to work. No, I choose to go to work because it puts food on the table right now. I have to do this business to get out of flying. No, I choose to do this business because I want to retire early, right? Change the way you speak to yourself, because when you change the way you speak to yourself, your thought process is different. The images in your head are different, and the images in your head is what the brain understands. It does not necessarily understand words and needs the image to go with it. And that's why you hear a lot of people using visualization, right? But it also comes with action. And that's where that behavior part is so important. So all three come together, right? How did I say this again? My goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Event, response equals outcome. And what you have control over is your thoughts, the image in your head, and your behavior. And I'm telling you, it's life-changing. It is worth taking the time to make those changes. It doesn't happen overnight. So take your time. Be aware of it. Be more self-aware of how you speak and the thoughts that you put into your head, and make those micro changes. Those micro changes will lead to huge transformations. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and I will see you in a couple days with another Go Live. I don't know. I don't want to share my topic yet. You will have to wait and see. All right. Pause. Oh, I don't want to pause. My God, it's happening here. End the stream. I have too many things in front of my screen. Oh.